Welcome back to Books and Bites. We've got a really fascinating deep dive planned for you today.
Yeah, excited to dig in.
We're taking a look at James Allen's As a Man Thinketh, a book that's been impacting readers for over a century. Wild how relevant it still is today.
It really is. The way it explores how our thoughts actually shape our reality, it's timeless.
So for those just tuning in for this deep dive, could you give us like the quick rundown, the main point of As a Man Thinketh?
Sure. The core idea is that our thoughts have immense power. Like, they literally create our reality. Alan says our thoughts are kind of like seeds, and they grow into our character, influence our circumstances, and ultimately shape our destiny.
Wow. So it's not just about positive vibes. It's deeper than that, right? It's about acknowledging the real impact of our thoughts.
Absolutely. It's about taking control of our mental landscape, understanding that our thoughts, they're not just temporary things. They have the power to shape our actual experiences.
That's a pretty big responsibility, isn't it? Empowering, but also, kind of daunting.
It is. But that's also where the book's brilliance lies. It doesn't just point out the power of thoughts. It gives guidance, on how to build a positive mindset.
I like that. Okay, so let's get into some specifics. This book dives into areas of life that are like directly impacted by our thoughts. Let's start with character. How does Alan connect our thoughts with who we become?
He uses a powerful analogy. He compares it to a sculptor shaping a statue. So just like a sculptor chisels away at stone, our thoughts are the tools that mold our character over time. Every single thought we entertain, every belief we hold, it all plays a role in shaping who we are deep down.
Okay, so let's see if we've got this. If I'm constantly thinking about being kind and helpful, eventually those qualities become like a part of me.
Exactly. And, the flip side is true, too. If we let negative thoughts like jealousy or resentment take over, well, those traits will show up in our actions and relationships.
It's like our thoughts are the architects of our personalities, building us up or tearing us down, depending on the materials we're using.
I love that. That's a perfect way to put it. And it's exactly why Alan stresses conscious thought, being mindful of what we allow into our minds, weeding out the bad and nurturing the good.
That makes total sense. Which brings us to another cool concept from the book, the effect of our thoughts on our circumstances. Sounds a bit like law of attraction stuff, but I'm curious how Alan approaches it.
Well, he argues that our thoughts directly impact our external reality. It's like our inner world is reflected in our outer world. So if we're filled with, say, negativity or fear, we're more likely to actually experience those things.
So our thoughts create a sort of energetic blueprint, drawing in experiences that match our dominant thought patterns.
Exactly. He gives this really interesting example in the book. It's about a man who's always thinking about success and actively pursuing it. And fueled by these positive, determined thoughts, he attracts opportunities and resources that lead him to, well, success.
Okay, that makes sense. So someone who's always complaining, focused on what they lack, they'd likely just attract more of the same.
Yeah, sadly, that can happen. Their thoughts become this self-fulfilling prophecy, trapping them in a cycle of negativity. Alan's point is that if we want different circumstances, we have to change our thinking first.
It's a reminder to take responsibility for the stories we tell ourselves, the thoughts we choose to dwell on.
Right. Recognizing that we have more power than we often realize. We can choose to focus on what's good, on the opportunities, and believe in our ability to create a better reality.
Now, this all makes me think about the mind-body connection. Does Alan touch on how our thoughts affect our physical well-being?
Absolutely. He was ahead of his time in seeing how profoundly thoughts impact our health. He says that negative thoughts, especially when they become chronic, they can show up as physical problems.
That makes sense. Stress is a perfect example. When we're constantly worried, it takes a toll on our bodies.
Definitely. It can lead to fatigue, headaches, digestive issues, even weaken our immune system, making us more susceptible to getting sick.
It's not just about feeling mentally drained. It's like our thoughts literally impact our physical health.
Exactly. Alan emphasizes the importance of a calm, disciplined mind for good health. Cultivating inner peace actually has a huge positive impact on our well-being.
So things like mindfulness, meditation, anything that quiets the mind, that actually contributes to our overall health.
It really does. These practices help us break free from those negative thought loops, letting our bodies relax and heal.
It's amazing to think that we might have more control over our health than we realize.
We do. It all starts with becoming aware of our thoughts and making an effort to create a more peaceful internal state.
As a Man Thinketh really offers a holistic approach to personal growth. it's not just about thoughts. It's about the ripple effects on our character, our circumstances, even our health.
It does. It's such a remarkable book, giving us this framework for understanding how our thoughts, feelings, and experiences are all connected.
It's incredible, and we're just getting started. There's so much more to explore.
There is. Alan lays out the connections between our thoughts and, well, basically everything.
Totally. Like we were talking about, it's not just about positive thinking. It's about recognizing that we're literally shaping our reality with our thoughts.
Absolutely. It's empowering and a little scary all at the same time, you know?
For sure. Okay, so we were talking about how our thoughts influence not just our character, but also our circumstances. And it makes me think about, like, purpose. How does having a purpose in life tie into all of this?
Well, Alan believes that having a strong purpose is like a guiding star. It gives direction to our thoughts, helps us focus on achieving something meaningful.
Okay. So it's about channeling our thoughts towards a goal, not just thinking positive things randomly.
Exactly. He actually gives a really cool example in the book about an aspiring artist. He says, imagine two people who both dream of becoming artists. One person is full of self-doubt, always second-guessing themselves. The other person truly believes in their talent and works hard to improve.
So you're saying the outcomes for those two artists would be different?
Oh, absolutely. The one who's stuck in self-doubt, they're more likely to, well, fail. Their thoughts kind of create a self-fulfilling prophecy. But the one with that clear purpose and unwavering belief, they're going to attract opportunities, overcome obstacles, and eventually reach their goal.
It's like the purpose combined with that positive thinking creates this unstoppable force, right?
Yeah. It aligns our thoughts with our aspirations, and that's where the real magic happens.
This is reminding me of the whole manifestation concept, the
Yeah.
idea that our thoughts can attract things into our lives.
It is connected to that. But Alan is also really clear that it's not just about thinking positive things and waiting for magic to happen. He emphasizes action. Taking steps towards your goals, aligning your efforts with your thoughts.
Right, that makes sense. So it's like you have the vision, you believe in it, and then you got to hustle to make it real.
Exactly. Okay, so thinking about achieving those goals, what does Alan say is the secret to success?
Ooh, good question.
He believes that success isn't about luck or being in the right place at the right time. It's a direct result of disciplined, positive thinking.
Okay, so more than just having a positive outlook, it's about training your mind to stay focused, to overcome, like, fear and doubt.
Yeah, he talks about how fear and doubt are the biggest roadblocks to success. Those negative thoughts can totally paralyze us, make us afraid to take risks and go after what we want.
I know what you mean. Fear can be so crippling. It whispers all these discouraging thoughts, makes you question yourself.
Right. And that's where mental discipline comes in. Recognizing those negative thoughts and consciously choosing to focus on courage, determination, and belief in yourself.
You know, it makes me think about all those stories of successful people who faced huge challenges but never gave up. They had this unwavering belief in their vision.
Absolutely. And those stories perfectly illustrate Alan's point. It's not about avoiding challenges. It's about having the mental strength to push through them.
Now, this brings us to another really fascinating idea from the book. Vision and ideals. How does that fit into the whole picture?
Well, Alan has this beautiful way of saying that our dreams and aspirations aren't just silly fantasies. They're powerful forces that can actually shape our reality.
Wow. So it's like we're not just daydreaming, we're planting seeds for the future we want to create.
Exactly. He reminds us that every amazing invention, every masterpiece, every success story started as a thought in someone's mind. And those thoughts, fueled by passion and belief, grew into something real.
That's so inspiring. It makes you think even things that seem impossible could actually happen if we dare to dream and believe in our visions.
I know. It's pretty amazing. Alan emphasizes the power of holding on to a noble vision even when things get tough. He encourages us to keep nurturing our dreams, feeding them with positive thoughts and actions, never giving up on what we really want.
That's a powerful message. I love it. It makes me think of it as saying, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. But Alan takes it a step further by showing how our thoughts play a crucial role in making that happen.
You got it. It's not just about dreaming, it's about aligning our thoughts and actions with those dreams. And that creates this incredible energy that propels us forward.
So this all leads to a really big question. What happens when we master our thoughts? What's the ultimate reward, according to Alan?
Well, he believes that the ultimate goal is to achieve inner peace, true serenity.
Ah, I see. So it's not just about external success, but about cultivating this inner state of harmony and peace.
Exactly. He says serenity is the highest form of self-mastery. It's that ability to stay calm and centered, no matter what storms life throws at you.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Especially in today's world with all the chaos and uncertainty, being able to find that inner peace seems like a superpower.
It really is. And he uses this example of a wise person who's unfazed by challenges because they've trained their mind to stay peaceful. They don't let negativity or fear control them.
Wow, I love that image. Makes me realize that inner peace isn't something we just stumble upon, it's something we have to cultivate through conscious effort and mental discipline.
You're right. It's an ongoing practice, a journey of self-discovery and learning to master our thoughts.
Man, we've covered so much ground in this deep dive into As a Man Thinketh.
I know, right? It's amazing how much Alan packs into this relatively short book.
It's really a testament to the power of his ideas, I think. Like, they're
Yeah.
so simple, yet so profound.
Absolutely. And the core message that our thoughts actually create our reality, it's life-changing stuff.
It really is. One of the things that stuck with me is Alan's emphasis on vision and ideals. The idea that our dreams aren't just fantasies, they're like blueprints for our future.
Yeah, that's powerful. It's like we have this incredible ability to shape our reality by holding on to a clear vision of what we want.
And he's not saying just sit around and dream, right?
Oh.
It's about aligning our actions with those dreams, taking those concrete steps.
Right. Action is essential. It's how we bring those thoughts and beliefs into the physical world. It's like building that bridge between our inner world and our experiences.
I love that analogy. Yeah. Now, thinking about Alan's ideas about achievement and serenity, it all seems to point to this idea of mastering our thoughts.
It does, doesn't it? Serenity, as he describes it, is that ultimate reward. It's like this inner peace that comes from being in control of your mind, not letting your thoughts and emotions run wild.
Like not getting swept away by all the ups and downs of life, but choosing to stay grounded, at peace.
Exactly. And Alan gives us a really practical roadmap for cultivating that serenity. It starts with awareness, recognizing our thoughts, and making a conscious effort to replace the negative ones with positive, constructive ones.
Like we're training our minds,
Mhm.
right? Learning to choose thoughts that serve us, that empower us.
Yeah. And the amazing thing is, anyone can do this. It doesn't matter your background, your circumstances. Alan's message is universal.
It really is. It's a book that has the potential to change anyone's life.
Yeah,
If you're willing to put in the effort, to embrace those principles and actually apply them.
I agree. It's definitely had a huge impact on my life. I can't recommend it enough to anyone who's, on a journey of personal growth, looking for self-mastery and a more fulfilling life.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into As a Man Thinketh. We hope you found it as insightful and inspiring as we did.
We sure did. And for those of you who are eager to learn more, be sure to grab a copy of the book. You can find a link in the episode description.
It's a short read, but it's packed with wisdom that can truly shift your perspective. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to subscribe to Books and Bites for more explorations of transformative books. We're passionate about sharing ideas that empower and inspire. So until next time, keep those minds expanding and those thoughts soaring.